And actually, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because I know me.
And you don't have to understand my boundaries to respect them.
Well, no, I'm the president and co-founder of McShin, a person in long-term recovery from substance abuse disorder.
And like, okay, I gotta work on that. Like,
Celebrating my 6 months, getting half a cake.
Yeah.
gosh, you showed up.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Get in the Herd. I'm your host, Raymond Ruybe, coming to you here live from the McShin Foundation in sunny Richmond, Virginia. And today I'm joined by Jon and Kris, and I'll let them introduce themselves. So, Jon, why don't you go ahead first?
My name is Jon Humphrey. I'm from the Fredericksburg area.
All right.
I'm Kris Baggarly. I'm from the Shenandoah County area.
Shenandoah. So we won't launch into a musical just yet. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're going to be talking about recovery as usual, but we're also going to have an emphasis on family. What does family mean to us? How families can help us in our recovery, and of course, ultimately, how we can help our families now that we're in recovery. So, Jon, since this is all your idea, why don't you tell me, what does family and recovery mean to you?
Family recovery means to me is work, because there was a lot of tragedy and bridges I burnt while I was out there in my addiction. So right now, my family's kind of like iffy about me, and I lost trust in someone. I lost trust in some of my family members. So trust is like what I'm trying to build up to them. I'm proving to them that, I'm a changed person in recovery. And, it takes time. Like, I'm still in intensive, so I've only been here for 3 weeks. And, they're not there yet. They haven't really earned my trust back yet. And, this place has taught me to, just hold fast and stay in a position and, keep using the tools around me and, just trusting yourself to gain the confidence back to actually earn the trust back from the people that you devastated.
Right. And you, Kris, same question.
I just need to make things right with them. Kind of like what Jon's saying, fix what I blew up. I mean, because for the longest time, I lied to myself. I lied to everybody else. I stole from them. If I didn't steal monetary things, I stole their time, energy.
Hey, Kris, can you get just a little bit closer to the mic?
Just
Yeah,
a
you
little
can bring
better.
it into.
Just to fix, to return everything that I took from them, give it back, and make right at least some of the wrongs I did.
Yeah. I get to see both of you guys on a daily basis. And I think that you're both tremendous. And I've seen how far you've both come just in a very short amount of time. I think you should take some pride in that.
I do, but at the same time, I don't want to, get a big head about it, get where I'll take that for granted again. So I always, on the back burner, think, okay, I did this, I can always do it again. And all it takes is one bad choice, and I'm back doing the same thing I was. So I don't want to go there and do it again. So I got to make sure I remember it at the same time.
Sure, a lot of that too is going to come from sort of your outlook on things. It's like, if we believe that we're going to screw something up, it's called self-fulfilling prophecy. Chances are we'll find a way to do that. If we feel that we're going to be successful, if we have faith in ourselves, then we'll find a way to succeed also.
Can I add on to the family thing again?
Sure.
I'm a happily married man, and I've been to rehab 3 times this year. This is my 3rd time, and the first 2 times, my wife, she's still in active use, so I would come home and I go run straight to her. And it took 2, maybe 3 days for me to relapse all over again and get strung out and just, start doing more damage to the family. And this time, it's been like 50-something days since I called my wife. McShin helped me realize that, there's healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships, and, like boundary setting, like I can't be the best person to my family or to my wife unless I'm clean and I got the knowledge for sobriety. Like, me keeping a distance from her and doing the right thing is, me trying to take on the role model role and, show her that you can live happy and be happy and successful without drugs. You know, we lost custody of our daughter, and you know, reason why is we were both in an active addiction, and you know, I stepped back. I went to rehab once, but I came home again, relapsed, went back, came home, relapsed, and this time, you know, I haven't returned home, and I haven't called her for the simple fact that I know that when you first come somewhere, you have to get comfortable where you're at, and the love that I and the passion that I have for my wife, hearing her struggle, you know, makes me want to go out there and try to help her. But I can't help her unless I'm strong enough to know that I can say no to whatever situation presents itself. And you know, relapsing is really easy because I've already learned that a couple times this year. And you know, like I said, I want to be a role model, and you know, I want to show her that, you know, there's other ways of, you know, coping with problems and dealing with stuff, and it is actually, you know, a chance to change your life around and be successful and be the parent that you need to be. But to like my monetary family, like I come from a big family, 11 brothers, 1 sister. Growing up, we all had this big bond. We used to wrestle, fight, play football, sports, watch movies, go, you know, any kind of activities, and I got to using it, and using is what my life revolved around. So like, we didn't do anything as a family but use. And tomorrow actually will be my dad's death date. He died of a heroin overdose as well. So it's been like a 3rd generation curse in my family of addiction. My dad's dad was an alcoholic. My dad was an addict, and now all my brothers and sisters, except for my sister, is addicts. So like, it's a generational curse, and you know, it's a disease. You know, and you know, the disease of addiction mixed with my mental health diseases, they just don't coincide.
Oh, you know, just there's a lot what you just said, but you know, the good part about this disease is that we get to say, hey, it stops with us, right? We're making recovery moving forward, something that you want to model. And speaking of modeling behavior, you know, it's rough. It sounds stupid and a lot of times almost hypocritical, but you know, we have to know that people are looking up to us in one way or another, and you know, when they see us getting well in our recovery, that's like the greatest gift that we can give them. And it's really difficult when we see other people suffering, because you just want to run up to them and be like, oh, you're an addict, you know, you need recovery. But when you're in your active addiction, that's not what you want to hear. And so what you're doing right now, being in recovery, staying clean, working on yourself, taking care of yourself, people see that, they'll get it. You're doing much more than just shaking them by the collar and saying, you know, you need to snap out of this and get your shit together. Ooh, I said shit. Sorry, Art.
That's right.
You know, there's just there's a lot in what you're doing right now that it reverberates out, much like when you drop a little pebble in the water. You know, you get to see how big the waves get, and you're in that mode right now. People will notice. I guarantee it. You know, people notice with me all the time. You know, I'm not the angry, dissatisfied person that I used to be. You know, people are like, Raymond, you're always so calm. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, maybe I look that way right now, but I haven't always been. You know, we work on ourselves, right? We do well for ourselves. So what about you, Kris? What do you want to add to the conversation?
I mean, you know a little bit of my story about what happened over the weekend. I almost left here. Went to have my bags packed. I had a ride that was almost here. My son made a couple bad choices, and after sitting with cricket for about 45 minutes, I mean, there's nothing I can do even if I go back. The same outcome's going to still be there. But me staying here, me focusing on my recovery, trying to fix me, will show him in the long run that I completed something. I'm working on it, working on being a better person, a better father, better just all around. And for my area, there's really no hope in my area. There's no recovery houses. There's no clinics you can really go to unless you want to drive 45 minutes or so. So, I mean, it shows it can be done. And right now, I mean, I'm living proof that it can. I've got more clean time than I've ever had in my life. looking at me with pride again. Same with my other two sons. But my daughter, when I first came in here, like she had distanced herself a few months before I even come in here because of all the stupidity I was doing out there on the street. And we used to be like inseparable. And then like she's saying she's proud of me again. She's looking forward to me completing this and then seeing what the next step is after that in my recovery. And I mean, they just showed me that it can be done. I mean, it's possible and that I can do it.
Yeah.
And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, and I just want to, say to everybody who's watching our podcast today, if we can do it, you can do it. And, it's possible. Recovery is a lot. It's a big change in the life. It's not a lot. It's a big change in one's life, but it's fulfilling because we get to sort of take that spotlight and turn it on ourselves and look deep inside of ourselves and try to figure out, what is it that we can improve on? I like to think life is a series of opportunities of becoming who it is that we're meant to be. Not so much just waking up one day and going, yeah, I'm fine now. It's time to die. I don't have any more growth opportunities left inside. So growing and, being there for our families and, hoping that one day our families can be there for us, in the way that we want.
Yeah.
I should say in a good way.
In a real expectation.
Yeah, real expectation. So, John, you're in your third week in the program, right? In the intensive program.
Yes, I am.
How's it been treating you?
It's been great. Instead of being down about it and everything, we're celebrating here in McShin. We celebrate just about every weekend, like Recovery Fest. There's all types of families and stuff out there supporting their loved ones, and you know what I mean. My family hasn't yet got there yet in supporting me, but I know there's hope because I see everybody else's family around them, and I hear some people's story, and it might be a little worse than mine, but they were here long enough to earn that trust back and do the work that it took to have them have that trust in them again. Like I just I compare my story to people's, but I really shouldn't do it that way because everybody's story is different, but it could be similar. So I just try to be patient and just wait for my opportunities to come and seize the moment and an opportunity that I have. I try to make the best of it. Listening, even though not to be judgmental on people that say something that you don't agree with. Not judging, just try to see around certain things that you don't agree with, and offer advice or suggestions or whatever you can.
Yeah, I think being non-judgmental is a goal. I don't know that it's necessarily an obtainable goal because I think that we're human and judging other people is something that we do. I don't know why, but I do it all the time. But you have to take that. The instinct might be to say something about your judgment or to not. I find that not is usually the best course of action there. Like not as many people care about my opinion as I might care about my opinion. So in recovery especially, right? Because I want to say, well, that's not how you do it, but that's not how I would do it. Doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. Right? And I just want to clarify too for all of our viewers that sure we are talking about family today, and you have two different forms of family. You have biological family, which is the family you're born into, and then we also, in most cases, we have the family that we create. Our family of friends, close acquaintances. Yeah, people in recovery also. Definitely sometimes more like family than biological family can be.
Yeah, coming here to McShin, I mean, from minute one we get here, they make you feel like family. You need something, don't even hesitate to ask. I mean, they help you with food, clothes, toiletries, anything you don't have, they've got for you. And in the house, we sit around. It's never like what you would see on TV. People moping, people like, oh, my sobriety is. No, I mean, we have fun every day. And not everything's going to be fun, don't get me wrong. I mean, some of it can be a little boring because we might have heard it or before, but hearing the same thing more than one time lets you get a different perspective. I might not have been in as open mind the first time, as it was the second time, and I got something completely different out of it. And as a family, we sit around the campfire, we share, we talk, we have coffee in a big groups together. I mean, we just have fun. We enjoy recovery, and it is awesome.
You're having a good time, huh?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah, good. So you're not just saying that because I'm your recovery coach.
No.
No, what you brought up though is something, I don't want to go off on a tangent here for a second. Some people may be watching this who aren't in recovery. And I know that when I wasn't in recovery, I used to watch media depictions of recovery with great interest because they all seem the same, right? A whole bunch of people, usually in a dark room, bunch of men sitting in a circle, and they're all crying about how like terrible their life is.
Church basement.
Church basement, yeah, definitely, with the big old crucifix in the background and everything, so like God looking down. And that's not what it's like at all. I actually have a great time at recovery meetings. I laugh my butt off most of the time. There's one group of folks I go out to dinner with every Wednesday night, and we know how to laugh. And we also have a really twisted sense of humor too, which helps. But yeah, we know how to laugh. I've heard some of the jokes you guys tell outside by the smoking pit, so I know you guys know how to laugh too. You want to add anything to this, John?
To touch on what Kris said, the camaraderie in the house. It's when you get here, you think you're gonna feel uncomfortable, but the way people greet you and share the same need as you, and it's just like a revolving door. What you got when you came, you start giving back. Giving back makes somebody feel good. It builds them confidence and relationships with people in this program, and you start getting friends and your network starts getting bigger. Then you start going to meetings, NA meetings, AA meetings, whatever meetings you attend, and you start building a network of people that are in recovery, happy, successful, and their guidance and the sponsorship and home groups and all that stuff, it gets you comfortable with even more people and a chance to learn
And push each other
and
to do better every day.
Yeah.
and be taught by somebody different. You know what I mean? And that's just a blessing about coming here is just the education you get on the addiction part of everything.
Sure. There are very few things I know for sure, but I do know this for sure. When we talk about things, when we're vulnerable, we take power away from what it is that might be bothering us. Just the act of sharing it and knowing that we're not alone, knowing that there's somebody that we can confide in, whether it's a sponsor or a mentor or a good close friend. You can't put a price tag on that. There's no value. There's no way to measure the value of that because it's infinitely valuable. We were talking a little bit earlier about shame associated with family. I think, John, you brought it up. Shame is kind of like an anchor that we carry around. It just weighs us down, drag it. And once we start talking about it, we start to chip away at it and sort of let it go so we can move forward unencumbered by that wreckage of our past, so to speak.
When I first got here, I was like the guy that sat in the back that didn't say much.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. When you had that group this morning, you know what I mean? Another brother from intensive, certain things, you get emotional about. His story is similar to mine, so, I asked him how he did it. And he was just like, just let it all out. So, this probably in yesterday and the group you had today, I was more vocal, expressing more about my thoughts and my feelings about everything. You seek answers and truth in that. And, that resonates in your heart, and you want to put it to use and instead of just holding yourself back. So it's all about applying yourself when you get here and being serious about your recovery, serious about change.
Yeah, absolutely. But like they say in AA, faith without works is death. Yeah, Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
No, I'm just saying that was the topic of our group earlier.
That was the topic of our group earlier. I'm sorry, I thought you were going to add. All right, well, now you have to. So speak.
I'm not the type that get out, do things I have to double think about it, and then rethink about it, make sure everything's correct, whatever. I don't know. I'm just not good at it. And part of what you do and the guys at the house, they push you in the right direction. And I don't mean push as in, you gotta go do this now, but I'm not great at this, but they make you want to be better, and by applying yourself, by going out and doing what you need to do to better yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense at all.
It made sense. I think, so speaking for me personally on this specific topic, it's not just you guys in the recovery. You know, I try to ask myself to be better at what I do. You know, my family, my friends. I just, again, getting back to, you know, life's not just just what we are right now. We're always sort of in the state of becoming. And if we don't challenge ourselves, we'll never understand what we're capable of.
Like most of the meetings we go to after our day's over with and everything, when I actually do go up to people, I always ask them a specific question, same one every time. It's, in your recovery, was there ever a moment where you just didn't have that craving, didn't want? And 99% of the time I get the same answer. You'll hit that point. It's different for everyone, but when you hit it, it'll hit you like a ton of bricks.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I honestly cannot wait to be leveled by a ton of bricks.
I'll tell you what the ton of bricks was that leveled me about 3 months ago. Well, maybe a little bit longer than 3 months ago. It was just before I started working here at McShin. I had COVID and I was stuck at home in quarantine for 2 weeks. And I was just bored senseless, right? And I had a dream one night where I was at my recovery Dharma meeting. And my dream was that I was at a recovery meeting. You know, it's a meditation meeting, right? So it's not like I was being chased by zombies or anything. And I woke up after that and I was just like, wow, so when did I go from having using dreams to having recovery meeting dreams? And you know, it was just like, my head exploded. It was cool. Yeah, I mean, one thing that happens over time is that, you know, cravings don't stop, but the severity of them does.
Yep.
You know, and then as we recognize that we can live drug-free, alcohol-free life, you know, our mind opens up to new possibilities and opportunities, right?
Yes.
So we start to become more confident with ourselves. Now, I'll tell you, guys, you probably know this already. There's nothing sexier than somebody who's got confidence, right?
Great.
I'm not just talking about physical attraction, but I mean, like even you know,
Above
emotionally.
and beyond that.
Yeah, you know, like talking with somebody, you can always tell the people who've got confidence, right? And sometimes inflated confidence, but not. But you know, that's something that comes from recovery also, usually in the first year, when you realize this isn't just a fluke, this is something that you can do.
I see it all the time, like people that's been here longer, like alumni and different people. Like when we went to a Moda meeting last night, and they had a lot of black key taggers there that went through McShin. So like they're all successful, confident, you know, contracting companies, and you know, their self-esteem is built up so much more, and you know, they're actually confident in what they do and the way they speak, and they can give you the seeds that they need to plant in your head for your growth to start. Like, you know, I'm still in a stage right now where I'm trying to learn and, you know, apply those principles in my recovery. So I've been observant. Now I'm trying to apply myself, and that's sharing, you know, getting a sponsor, getting a home group, and so on, because you can't do it by yourself. You can't, like, I've been asking a million questions to a million different people because, you know, I see them happy. You know, that's where I want to be. You know,
Yeah.
I know I can achieve it if I apply myself. Anything I've ever applied myself in life, I achieve. So, you know, this time I want it and I want it bad. So, you know, I'm trying to learn from the people that I see happy.
Yeah, and there's you know, there are very few things in life that we can really accomplish on our own. You know, when you really get down to the ooey center of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, like recovery is something that we'll rely on other people who have done it to help us. You know, education, another thing. We rely on other people who have the education to teach us. You know, I think that we should always invite opportunities to grow our intelligence and to grow our capability for empathy also. Because those two things in combination are worth $1 million or more than $1 million. $1 trillion. Yeah. So just for those people who are joining us who aren't from the Richmond area, Mona is the Men of Narcotics Anonymous meeting that happens here locally in Richmond, Virginia on Monday nights, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah. Over on Monument Avenue, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been once, sorry. Not that I don't like it, it's just I've got other meetings. So,
Y'all are busy, very busy.
yeah.
Y'all have your recovery, but you have us in our recovery. And y'all make yourselves available pretty much 24/7. I mean, days off. Well, I talked to quite a few of you all that work here. And I mean, if you have to, you come in, you do what you got to do. And y'all, we're like your family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I do consider you guys like family. You know, I have a vested interest in your success. However, caring about you is not enough. You got to care about yourself more. Yeah.
I get that. I didn't before I got here. But hell, I don't think I even liked myself half the time before I got here. But I'm learning to, and I'm learning I'm worth it.
I actually had the opportunity to be here for a couple of weeks before Kris. So when I greeted him, showed him the ropes a little bit. You know, when he didn't get to go to the grocery store until Saturday, so I made sure he had food ready to eat. You know what I mean? Gave him the rules, kind of shadowed him, make sure that he was going where he needed to go and being where he needed to be. But I've just watched him grow as a person. When he came in here, he was an emotional wreck.
I still am half the time.
Yeah. But he's got more confidence, and you know, I seen his family at Recovery Fest, and for the most part, they were happy, and I could see how proud they were. They were playing games as a family, such as cornhole. You know what I mean? There was events to do with your family, sober and have fun.
I mean, I grew up in the country. We have cookouts, bonfires, we have all kinds of stuff like that all the time. And my daughter was like, we've never played cornhole before. And we sat and we played. She whooped my butt. But, like, I didn't disappear for a half hour. There was no fights because everybody was drunk or
Right.
the stupidity that goes along with addiction. We got to be a family for a little while and got to show her that recovery is actually pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, I actually have a lot of recovery in my family right now. And I think back to when I was a kid, going to family events, it was always just pure chaos because nobody was in recovery at that point. I mean, like throwing punches kind of chaos.
Yeah.
My mother didn't want to have anything to do with that. So I didn't really get to go to very many family events when I was a kid. My mother was very much like the straight edge, worked for a big law firm type. And, you know, she'd have me by the collar as my feet were running towards the chaos. And she'd be like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I'm a New Yorker, right? So country to me is probably going to mean something different to you. And country to me is North Jersey. For you, it's cornhole and mountains. And for me, you
Bonfire,
call that
horses,
nature.
fight, fun. But if my daughter got to the point where when we're going to a cookout, this person ain't going to be there, that person ain't going to be there, that person ain't going to be there. Yeah, they either live there or they live around there, or so yeah, they're bound to come. I don't know if I want to go because last time they did this, or the time before they did that. But we'll never be able to take away our outside world. They're going to do what they're going to do. We just got to focus on us, recovery, and how we react to things.
And yet that's a good segue into, you know, control, right? There's only one person that we can control, and that's ourselves. We can't control others. So God, it would be so nuts if we could, but we just can't. You know, but we can control how we react to others. You know, sometimes you just have that one person that poke you, you know, and they're waiting for you to go, get off of me, you know. But usually the best way to disarm that situation is just to say, hi.
Kill him with kindness.
Kill him with, well, you know, let's not kill him with kindness, but, you know, let's satisfy ourselves with kindness. You know, doing the right thing is something that we were talking about a couple of minutes ago. And, you know, I like to tell people all the time, and I practice this religiously. is that, you do the right thing even when no one's looking.
Integrity.
Yeah.
I was just about to go there with you. It's because you might see somebody brown nosing or something that you think somebody's brown nosing all the time, but then when staff's not around, they're doing everything, the most, and just that shouldn't distract you. You should stay focused. You know what I mean? Because recovery is rewarding. It was rewarding having Kris thank me for some of the insight I gave him, on his family situation. Because he always comes to me because we built that brotherhood, in our recovery and in the house that, that came from the first day he got here.
Yep.
And so he comes to me for solutions, and I can't answer his problems for him, but I can make suggestions to him because
Suggestions and ideas.
me and his drug abuse was two totally different things, and some of the struggles he's having with his family, revolve around my drug abuse, so I can educate him on what I know from it and my experiences on it, and he runs with that, and like I said, the camaraderie we built as a two, like he's probably like one of my closest associates here, and we thank each other every day. We're kind to each other every day. We don't have disagreements. The feeling is mutual because I can feel it not just by words, but I can just feel it in my soul.
Yeah. All right. I know drugs of choice compatibility sometimes they feel very important in early recovery. I know it was for me. But honestly,
He and I are completely different
Yeah.
with that stuff.
what you both have in common is recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Focus on that. Right.
And he might not have a whole lot more time in recovery, but he's got a lot of insight. Like, he's got full of knowledge. Don't let him ever try to fool you, because if he doesn't know the answer, he won't try to BS you. He will tell you no, or he will tell you what he does know. And that's what I like about him.
Yeah.
He's straight up with you.
No, I had you pegged as the silent but brainy type from the first time I met you. You throw off that confidence vibe, Yeah. No, with recovery being what we all have in common.
I love it.
Definitely just focus on that. And the war stories, nobody needs that. Honestly, there are times where, I could just totally do without them. Anybody who wants to win a medal for being the worst, I'm just like, you win, leave me out of it. That's not a competition I want to be a part of, nor do I want to win it.
It took me a minute to
Yeah.
realize that. I never thought I was glorifying it, but I think it was.
Yeah, a lot of that is glorification,
I
Look
never-
at how bad
Yeah.
how bad I was.
Yeah.
I just got time for that.
None of us are kingpins, we're all addicts.
Yep.
We're in recovery. So all the war stories of our past, his story makes history.
Yeah.
My story, I'm trying to make my story. And all of my history, that's irrelevant to my recovery. But at the same time, remember where I came from.
If we forget our past, we're determined to repeat it.
Yeah, but you know what? Just living just for today, right? And what we do today, this minute, is already our past. So we get to redefine what that past is. You can go back and live in where you think your past is, but we're redefining it all the time. We're sort of pushing that needle forward, so to
That
speak.
past is just in recovery.
Yeah, that's right. And it already is, right? Because 2 seconds ago you were in recovery, so now you've got a past in recovery and a future there. Both of you. So I want to urge all of our listeners to feel free to comment in the chat below if there's any kind of subject that you'd like for us to cover in the future. I've just been kind of winging it at this point, but love to hear from you. Love to hear how we can make this a better show and what we can do to better serve your recovery in the future. So I want to thank you for joining us. My name is Raymond Ruybe, and you've been with us here today on Get in the Herd. Great job, both of you. Seriously.